just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you by the crispest, smoothest lager in the land, the beer of footy, the beer of Australian sport. But I have my guest here with me, the great Alex Twal. What's going on, brother?
Hi, brother. Yeah, going good, man. How you going?
How's the off-season been for you?
Yeah, it's been all right, man. Not much to do at the moment, to be honest with you. Just cruising, just sort of enjoying the time off.
Yep.
Going dinners with the missus, doing all that, getting
Eating
the brownie
whatever
points.
you want, or are you been pretty good?
Nah, I've been looking after the rig, still training, still going to the gym and that, but still sort of trying to stay in shape.
You know what is good about the off-season if you enjoy training, especially in gym, like you can get big because you don't have the contact breaking down your muscle.
100%, bro. Like when people don't get it, but when you're actually playing, like week in, week out, you actually lose so much muscle
100%.
and fitness and that because you're just trying to like recover your body and you cop one bad knock on the weekend and you're not lifting weights for 2 weeks.
Mate, how bad's that when you feel like you're deflating?
Yeah,
and all the boys are getting jacked and you're like, far out, man. I just want to get big again.
100%, bro.
What was a very, very tough year for you boys, but you personally, I thought, you had one of your better years and you only missed, I think it was like 12 tackles the whole season. Is defence something for you that you really enjoy, or is that just something that you've tried to work on, or...?
I guess it's sort of just the role I sort of play in the team at the moment.
Yep.
We obviously haven't done too well over the last couple of seasons, and speaking on 2021, it wasn't too much of a good year for the Tigers. But I think one thing you've always got to have down pat is your defence, and it was just it's been tough. Like we were leaking a lot of points and stuff, so it was personally a focus of mine. Of try to be steady in that department.
It's fuck, I can't explain to people how tough it can be when you're in a situation like the Tigers were this year, where the boys are all training their asses off, and every week you kind of like make an agreement with each other, like let's just rip and tear, boys, and then for some reason it just doesn't work on the weekend. What was it like internally, this season with the boys? Was it a matter of like obviously you'd feel down, but were you just trying to get each other's like back up again, and what was the feeling like internally?
Yeah, of course. Well, personally, I take losses like quite hard, man. Like so after a loss, man, it takes me like 3 or 4 days to really find my groove again. But when we go to training and that, the boys are always upbeat, but at the same time, like you know yourself, bro. Man. Yeah, it's tough to put a smile on your face, man, because winning is everything, especially in rugby league. So
who's the energy, I guess, leader? Who brings the energy back up, or tries to at least?
I'd probably have to say Noffa, man.
Noffa, the great Noffa Luma.
Yeah, when he's up, he's up and he brings the boys with him. But when he's down, he takes the boys down with him. So, it's just the roller coaster, bro. Yeah, but probably Noffa, man. There's a few, man. Dane Laurie, he's young.
Oh, he's good, bro. He's really
chirpy
good
when he wants to.
Is Adam Dewey as much of a pest as he seemed like in that documentary, or was that a bit of carry on there?
Nah, I think it was a bit of carry on, bro. Nah, he's good, man. He's quiet. He just goes about his business.
No, I really like him. He was probably one of my favourite players of the last season. I love the energy that he did bring to you guys. He's also of Lebanese heritage as well.
Yeah, 100%, man.
So you're boys.
Yeah, we're brothers.
What about for you personally? Only missing 12 tackles was. You said that it was a focus for you, but was that something that Madge had spoken to you as well? Like, mate, I need you to deliver X amount. You know what I mean? Like, was that part of your process, or?
Not really, man. Sort of the role I was playing in the team was like high minutes, like sort of fronty, sort of in the middle there. So I was playing like, close to 80 minutes, like trying to play close to 80 minutes every week.
13 and front row, hey? Like some games you play 13.
Sort of, yeah. But mainly like, my preferred is always was the front row. But
yeah, I like in the front row too.
But in terms of, this season, it was sort of like our focus was our defence. Unfortunately, the season sort of, our defence was sort of a theme of, of our losses. And so I just personally take it upon myself just to make sure that my defence is good and playing my part. But that's what it sort of came down to.
Mate.
Yeah.
It's fuck. As I said off camera, and even with the Broncos boys when they were struggling, like when I see a team struggling like that, I know what it's like. Like a lot of fans, and rightly so, every fan has a right to their opinion, or whatever, but they don't understand that when you see a team lose, just because the players aren't on the field, in tears, doesn't mean they're not absolutely stinging the whole week, not just like a few 100%. Days. Like when I lost, I would honestly be filthy for at least 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I said, a couple of days would take me after loss, and like Adam's the same. We're just pretty much speaking to each other straight after every game and just sort of trying to get around each other and that. But yeah, it's always tough, man, after a loss, and especially because, you know, when sort of this year I got put in that leadership group with Adam and Jimmy Tarmow and Brooksy and that, and sort of you take it a bit more personally as well, because you know that, you know, you've been a couple of years at the club now, so, you know, it's a sort of a part of your DNA, and so every loss, you know, hurts, but in saying that, every win, you know, it feels so good. Yeah. So,
do you play FIFA with Adam? I know he loves a bit of fucking FIFA, doesn't he?
Nah, yeah, he's a bit of a kid, bro. Nah, I don't play much games.
But he loves it, doesn't he?
He loves it, bro. Yeah.
Mate,
he reckons he's the king.
Yeah, I was going to say he thinks he's a king, eh?
Yeah.
I reckon that's doubtful. Who else is pretty good at it?
Him, Noffa. They always go at it, but I think Adam is better.
Oh, you reckon Adam's got him?
Yeah, well, they versed each other a couple of times up when we were up in Brisbane, and I think he got him. So,
fuck.
Adam doesn't got a missus, but so he's got plenty of time. So,
under the thumb, you reckon?
Yeah, he's under the thumb, bro. I'm trying to find him one of my missus' mates or something.
What was it like, you know, going into the bubble up in Brizzy this year?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Like my missus, like got pretty, you know, old school parents, and sort of they didn't let her come up to Brisbane. They didn't really like the idea of us staying in the same hotel room or whatnot, because we're not married and that. So
she's like tough. Quite traditional.
Yeah, traditional. Yeah, so like don't sleep out of their house and whatnot.
Is that like traditional culturally or religious wise?
Oh, a bit of both, man.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bit of both, and so that was tough. Like obviously not having my missus up there, my family.
That would be tough.
But it was good in the sense, you know, I got to get close with a lot of the boys that I probably wouldn't spend too much time with outside of footy, you know. So it was mad in that sense. Like you've been around the boys every day, wake up, breakfast with each other. I got real close with, you know, like Adam, and like obviously they were like room partners and that. So you get closer with the boys, which I reckon will like put us in good stead going forward for this year, because just being forced to, you know, wake up and be with each other every day, it just became like you just wanted to wake up and see the boys. Like
absolutely,
it was mad. So it sort of brought our bond closer. And I reckon when your bonds are stronger off the field, you know, it does help on the field. So
100%. Who was the biggest pest of the season living with, and who was the best? Who would you give best bloke and worst bloke in a funny way? Worst bloke.
Oh, best bloke. Probably say Jock Madden. He's one of the younger fellas.
Yeah,
He's just the ultimate nice guy, bro. You wake up in the morning, if you want to go to breakfast, bro, you say you want to come breakfast. Yeah, 100%, mate. Like, he just says no to nothing. And then probably worst bloke, probably say Adam. Like,
really?
He's one of those typical like kids from like Strathfield.
Yeah.
Classy area.
Oh, no.
Mum does everything for him. He's washing, he's cooking, he's cleaning. I walk into his room, bro, every morning. There's like lollies on the ground, bro. His clothes are there. It's just like,
what a grub.
Like, mate, your contract says you're rich, but when I walk into your room, it tells a different story. But yeah, nah. They're all good blokes.
No, as I said before, Adam Dewey, I think he's so good for the club, bro, because you need a guy like that kind of lifts the energy.
100%, man. I reckon he's probably, in my opinion, probably our future captain, man. Like he had a mad year in 2021. Like, I thought he was probably one of our best players, and I think going forward, like he was a junior for Tigers. You know, I can't speak highly enough of him. Not just saying it because he's my mate, but he generally loves the club. So
he's a gun. Take us back to a young fella. So obviously, you're Lebanese now. Are you half? Are you both your parents from Lebanon? Like, walk us through your heritage.
My mum's Lebanese, and she was born in Lebanon, and my dad's Jordanian. He was born in Jordan. Okay. So not many people know where Jordan is and whatnot. But sort of.
Is Jordan in the Middle East?
Yeah, both Middle East. Sort of just they just, I don't even know how like they got me and my brothers into footy, but sort of you just started playing local league, for our Catholic comp over there.
So did they meet, like move over here and meet here, or did they meet over in?
No, they met here in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah. So they met here in Australia. They came over here. Dad didn't have much, so over there, so he came over here looking for a better opportunity at life and get a job. Sort of, so he's a fencer by trade now. And my mum came over here. Yeah, sort of just came over here with her family. Same thing. Her dad wanted a better life for his kids and stuff. And they came over here, sort of not with much or anything, and sort of just built their way up. My dad built his business, fencing, and sort of just a trade, like working his trade. And then they sort of, like me and my brothers, like growing up, we sort of just got put in the Catholic comp, just playing for fun on Sundays. Yep. And then, bro, like quickly sort of just grew to love the game, man. We watched like from 6 or 7, we just watched footy every weekend, man.
Yeah, okay.
It sort of just become a part of our DNA growing up. And then, it wasn't until probably 13, 14 years old, I went to the Saturday comp and started just playing with my mates. Like, it was just the thing to do, bro. You just go down to the park up the
100%.
road.
Yeah.
Everyone just, my mates, we didn't have no clue how to play. We just sort of just loved being around each other and just rip in.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't probably till Harold Math, 16s, when I was at Para.
Was Parry, who was your team growing up that you enjoyed watching?
Yeah, Para. Para was my team growing up. Yeah,
Yep.
100%, man. Yeah, that was the team I supported.
Yep.
And then wasn't until Harold Matt's, man, I sort of just wanted to make the Harold Matt's team, made the 40-man team, whatever, made the team.
Yeah.
Ended up having a good year that year. Got like player of the year for Para, and then ended up playing 16s Origin. Sort of from then, I sort of like wanted to play first grade. I thought it was something that I could strive to do, and ended up playing all my junior ranks through for Para, SJ Ball, 20s and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then there came a point where I was still supposed to be still eligible to be playing 20s, but then was playing cup and then sort of just didn't really get an opportunity there at Para. Sort of just to.
So you were playing. You were 18 years old or 19 years old playing cup.
Yeah.
And this was with Parramatta. At this stage, did you have an extended, were you training with the first grade squad?
Yeah, I was training with the first grade squad.
Do you remember that first conversation when they asked you to come to the first grade squad, or
Yeah, I still remember. I was like 3 or 4 games into, I was playing 20s, 3 or 4 games in, and then I remember the high performance and the coach pulled me in and they said, "Oh, we want you to start coming and train with us." And yeah, that was massive for me, man, because I was training with blokes at the time it was Chris Sandow.
The great Chrissy Sandow.
Yeah, there was other bloke, Nathan Peets was there at the time. There was heaps of mad blokes, like Anthony Watmouth just signed with the club.
Yep.
So it was pretty, awesome. I still remember that going home. My mum was heaps proud of me and that, especially being, Middle Eastern parents didn't really come from much, them being able to break sort of news like that, then was massive for them just to be training with them. And
absolutely. I had a similar-ish conversation to Josh Mansour, and they come from something that a lot of Aussies just can't understand. The struggles that some countries have compared to what we have here and the opportunities we have. So for them to come to a new country, don't know the language, I'm assuming they didn't know when they were growing up, and then for you to be excelling so much, it means a lot. For example, it means a lot to an Aussie kid, but I think it would mean a lot more to someone like your family because of the sacrifices that they've made. You know what I mean? To come to a whole new country, there's no internet, you don't know what the country's like. It would be so much tougher than you give it credit for,
100%, bro. They didn't really come from much, and like I said, footy was from the age of 7 for my family. My mum and dad, they know every player, every team. They sort of just love the game. So to be able to break the news to them that I was going to be training with first grade was just massive for them. So 100%. Yeah, and then,
do you remember that rocking up in the first sessions or anything like that?
Yeah, I was nervous bro. I sort of just stay out of the way and just sort of absorb everything, absorb the experience. But
So you're playing cup, you're a teenager, and so did you go to, and you make New South Wales under 20s, and you make the Junior Kangaroos in both 2015 and 2016. What was it like making those sides? Did that give you a lot of, were you starting to truly believe, wow, I should be playing NRL, or I can play NRL? Or? Yeah,
I think the first year I played JKs, I think I was probably one of the only blokes that was not full-time yet with first grade. So to me, that was all right, well, it's realistic for me now. Because I think the first year I was playing, bro, I was playing with the first year of Junior Kangaroos, the team was stacked, bro. I was in awe of most of the players. It was at the time, who was in the team? It was Hastings was playing consistent first grade. He was fullback.
He was a young gun.
Robert Jennings, blokes like that. They were just already playing first grade, and I sort of hadn't played first grade yet.
Yep.
And that was just a massive, massive confidence booster for myself. Being in that team, and that was just massive. So I guess but making them sort of teams, you do start to believe it, and you start to become more of a goal for yourself. Yeah.
And so did you, at this stage, go to Para and say, look, I'd like to be in the first grade squad, or do you want to sign me for longer? Is that how did it happen that, because a guy like yourself, you're playing Junior Kangaroos, you're playing for New South Wales, most clubs would have a contract ready, definitely, get into our first grade squad. How did it come that you would leave Para, the team that you supported as a kid, to end up going to the Tigers?
Well, they ended up giving me full-time contract. I did have a 2-year full-time contract with Para at the time.
Yep.
And I was training and stuff, but then I started playing cup, and then I started playing all right. So, and sort of just, didn't really get a shot to play. So that was tough, and the team wasn't going too well and whatnot. The first grade team wasn't going too well at the time, and that was sort of tough. Like just being a young fella, you're just eager. You just want to, tick off that goal off your bucket
100%.
list. But
and everyone around you that you played with is making their debut.
Yeah.
And you start thinking, fuck, like I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, but I needed to kick back as well. Like being a front rower, I was only 19 or 20 at the time, and just needed to sort of, make sure that I, continue to progress my game and work on my game. So, it was what it was. And then it sort of came to a point where I had one more year at Para, and then they wanted to extend me. But then at the time, I hadn't played first grade yet. So I was like, well, I don't know whether I should stay. I don't think I think personally, I want to take my career to that next level. And then Tigers came to the table and sort of they wanted to sign me on a longer term deal. And then, the rest was history. I sort of went to Tigers that following week, and then, made my debut.
Really?
Yeah, so literally
week?
like Ivan came to the club, and then pretty much the week after he came to the club, I signed with that club. I signed with Tigers.
Wow. So it was Ivan that signed you?
Yeah, it was Ivan.
Do you remember the phone? Like, was there any other clubs interested?
It sort of happened so quickly, man. I was just,
time to go
and I didn't, because I was still young. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to move away from my home and that.
Totally.
So like Tigers was up the road, and I sort of told my manager like, that sounds good to me. Like, they're up the road from my house. I don't need to relocate. I don't really want to exhaust any other options. And to be honest, I still had another year at Para.
Yeah.
So, and they wanted to extend me. So it was sort of, it wasn't even the conversation to leave, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
It sort of just happened so quickly. And then, Ivan came to Tigers, and then I signed there. And then, like I said, the week after I made my debut.
So you're playing Cup for the most of the year.
Yeah.
And then the week after you make your debut, do you remember the conversation when you made your debut?
Yeah, I still remember it, man. We walked out, like I was still new, still trying to like earn the respect with the boys and that. And I was sort of just quiet, keeping to myself. And then I remember Ivan like sort of just pulled me aside, and he goes, mate, I think actually the week I came on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And they had captain's run, and they're playing on a Friday. I did the captain's run with them my first day.
What?
So, Thursday, and then Woodsy was playing Origin. And then Ivan said to me on the Thursday, he goes, you're going to come to a captain's run.
Yeah.
He goes, just be ready, because if Woodsy's not right to play on Friday,
you play.
He goes, you'll play.
Were you wigging out?
I was wigging out, bro. I was like, bro, I haven't even met any of the boys. How am I going to play first grade with them?
And it's your debut. It's not like you've already played.
Yeah, and then I literally like, lucky Woodsy was sweet, because I felt like I needed a bit of time just to get to know the boys. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, and then so the Friday they played Gold Coast, and Woodsy was sweet, so he ended up playing, and then it was the following week I debuted against Newcastle.
Far out. And so the conversation, did you get named in the side on the Tuesday, or was it later in the week where he said you're going to make your debut?
He named me at 21, but he told me I think on a Wednesday, and we were playing on the Sunday, so he gave me plenty of time to think about it. And me especially, I'm an overthinker, bro. So I was just thinking of a million different situations in my head, bro, of how this debut's going to turn out.
Fuck, what was the phone call like to your parents?
Oh, yeah, that was massive, bro. I think my mum started crying and that. Like, just moments like them, bro, you hold on to for the rest of your life, man. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that was massive for me. And then to debut, bro,
they reckon crazy. Half of the Australian Lebanon community was there.
Yeah. Oh, mate, they were in. Yeah, they were bucket loads. It was the most Newcastle's ever seen.
Yeah, they were like, who are all these Lebanese people fucking rolling in?
Bro, yeah,
drums and shit. They're rolling with drums, I reckon.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
How many tickets did you get? What about your first home game? Did you have a bunch of tickets then?
Bro, nah. They all came up to Newcastle, bro. Yeah, I had like 100, bro. Literally all my mates.
You got 100 tickets?
Oh, not literally 100, but like heaps, bro. And then all my mates came, all my uncles and that. Yeah. Everyone came, bro. And everyone was just so happy, man. It was crazy, bro. Like honestly, like I was like that content just after that one game. But then I was like, then I wake up the next morning, I was like, nah, I want to play more. Like,
100%.
You just keep chasing sort of more and more. Yeah.
Do you remember anything from the game specifically?
To be honest, bro, like before the game, man, that's probably the only thing I remember, just wigging out. I was like, fully wigging, because like at the time, man, like Newcastle wasn't going well. Yeah. Tigers weren't going great either. We were like 12th, Newcastle wasn't going well. It was sort of made out to be like the grand final, bro. Because it was like the grand final, like, honestly, because like Newcastle hadn't won for a while when we played that game.
Both teams needed to win.
Like, yeah, it was just massive for the fans. Like for the Tigers fans, it would have been massive to get a win. And for Newcastle, it was massive to get a win. Like, and it was massive, bro, especially because Ivan just came to the club, and there was big hype around that. And yeah, bro, it was just like a grand final, bro. Like, and
that's so good.
The stadium was sold out, man. Like speaking to you about them tickets, bro, they were hard to get. And
far out.
Yeah, so I don't really remember much besides wigging out. But then lucky enough, when I went on, we were up like 20-0.
Yeah.
So I was like, how good is this?
That's
like,
mad. That's where you want to go. Did you come on the front row?
Yeah, I came on the front row, and then almost scored and haven't got close since. Literally my first carry, bro, I think I got like a couple centimetres away, bro. I was like, Crazy, bro. All my mates still talking
And
about
you
it
still
now.
haven't scored, hey?
Still haven't scored, bro.
What is that feeling, bro? You like speak
Bro,
to me.
it's terrible, man.
How? Like, what do you reckon the problem is here?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, man, I don't even know. Like the other day, like when I proposed to my missus,
Yeah.
blokes weren't even saying congratulations. They're like, "Oh, you finally scored," and that. Like that's the type of DMs I was getting. Like, "Oh, you finally scored, bro." Like, I go out to dinner with my missus.
bro.
Like, me and my missus, we're going out to dinner, bro. I can't tell you honestly how many blokes just come up to me and tell me like, "Bro, I backed ya. Bro, you need to score, man. You're losing me a lot of money." I'm like, bro, like, I'm doing my best, bro. I'm not going anything intentionally not trying to score. But I'm telling you, everywhere I go, it's just like, bro, are you going to score or what? It's not like, yeah, it's crazy, bro.
It's like, oh, I play NRL, like do all this, like you don't miss any tackles really, but anyone, all they care about is to score it.
To be honest, bro, I was flying under the radar, and then it was that NRL roast, bro. He just jumped on, and then everyone just jumped on board, Brian. So
Bro,
it's
it's so fucking funny.
yeah, bro.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but at the same time,
It's punish.
It's a punish, bro, when you're with your missus and that.
Oh, and like what's crazy is your debut, you were centimeters away.
Yeah.
Like this could have all been avoided if you just a little bit stronger. A few extra sessions in the gym, you would have made it, bro.
Bro, no. You see all these blokes, they score these ones where the ball just falls and they just put their fingers on it. Bro, I don't know if I have to run through 3 big walls or something.
Mate,
I don't know how I'm going to get it.
What he's doing, and now the monkey's on your back.
Yeah.
You know, like now it's like fuck. Like, you could potentially go 100 games without scoring in it.
Hopefully not, bro. But fuck, you never know. Honestly, bro. I just told my missus like, babe, is that bad you haven't scored? And I was like, it's not my job, babe. Like, don't worry about it. I'll leave it. I just play it because she doesn't understand the game, bro.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I'll just make it out like, yeah, it's not a part of my job. It's not, it's not in the job description or whatnot. And she's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, good.
And my mates, bro, like my mates got all these tactics they want me to pull to try score. My mates like, why don't you run an X, Y, Z to try score? I'm like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You can't just do these like
100%.
imaginary plays, bro. You're versing professional. Like, you can't just, bro.
Oh, fuck, that's
I'm
good.
telling you, that many people tip me up on how to score and all this stuff, bro. Literally, it's funny, bro, because well, it's not really funny, but. When we were versus Melbourne last year, or the year that just passed, like, the score was blown out, whatnot, and I actually went over, but I got held up, and me and the boys were laughing because, not laughing, but we were like laughing at the fact that I actually went over, but then I got swarmed, bro. It was like a bunch of magpies just sent a piece of bread. I got swarmed by like 10 of them, bro, to get held up.
And they were like ahead by so much, they could have just clocked off once.
Bro, it was just like crazy. Fuck. Like that was the closest I got this year. I need to get swarmed by 10 blokes.
Oh fuck, that's good, bro.
Yeah.
That's so fucking good. Okay,
Crazy,
so you make your debut, and it was one day before your 21st birthday. What was the celebrations like?
Yeah, it was pretty mad, man. Because at the time, I think because we beat Newcastle, we got in the bus on the way back home, and then Ivan was just like, "Boys, he's gonna have the week off." Oh. So I was like, "Make my debut,
mate.
Just about to turn 21 this week."
Yeah,
like
doesn't get better.
Doesn't get better than that, bro. I was like, it was mad, man, because to have the whole week off.
Yep.
Just enjoying the whole week with my mates. My mates taking me out for dinner and whatnot, just doing stuff with the family. Yeah, it was just massive.
Now, in that season as well, you make 249 tackles. You only missed 5, and you had the best tackle percentage in the NRL over the regular season. Again, is defence something your whole career that you've prided yourself on, or it's just a part of your game? It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think it's it's always sort of been the cornerstone of my game.
Yep.
I think defensively, I've always prided myself in trying to be reliable, and I sort of just want to be that player that everyone wants to play with. I don't really care what outside people say, but as long as my teammates like playing with me, then I feel like I'm happy.
Yep.
And after a game, that's the first thing that sort of I look at is like, did I do a job for my teammates? And that's sort of the player I've sort of try to become and still trying to work towards. Just sort of trying to be that player that my teammates want to play with. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also you get selected for Lebanon in the World Cup. What was that? I mean, that would have been a proud moment, surely.
Yeah, that was massive, man. I probably didn't realise how big it was until I participated in that World Cup with the boys. We obviously had, Adam, started his career there, and then Robbie obviously came, or was already a part of it, and Mitch Moses, Michael Leisha, and Tim Manor. So we had a good group of boys there, and sort of probably one of the best experiences of my career, man, to be honest with you, to be fair, being in Sydney as well, like you just seeing the amount of, support we got, I'm literally like, we were on camp for about 6 weeks, and like every day there would be a new restaurant that wanted to have us, like Lebanese restaurant that wanted to host us. Like it was just crazy, bro, how the community got behind us. And, I've spoken to you about it before, but just the way the Lebanese community get behind, rugby league, and specifically, the Cedars at that time, it was massive, man. It was real humbling as well, just to see, that amount of support we had. And we ended up doing, pretty good. We got our first World Cup win against France, and, what came out of that was just massive. I remember rocking up to the game, bro. There's drums going off.
Yeah.
There's people playing the flute and playing like all these. It was just going crazy, bro. Like people travelling down from Maryland or wherever out west.
And bringing like a different flavour to rugby league, like with the drums 100%. And everything like that. You don't really usually see that kind of...
Yeah.
It's just a different flavour.
100%, man. I think back in the day, Bulldogs used to like bring it to the doggies games and that, but it sort of don't really do it much anymore. But bringing a new sort of life to the World Cup, man, because it was massive, man. I reckon I put it back down to our fan base, the Lebanon fan base, that is as the reason why we got so, went so well in that World Cup as we did, because the amount of energy that they gave to us was just massive, man. It was, like I said, it was one of the best experiences of.
And have you had a chance to travel like to Lebanon or anywhere like that with the team, or have you travelled to Lebanon at all in your life?
Nah, I haven't, man. To be honest, we were supposed to go this year because me and a few of the boys met up with Michael Checker earlier this year, and he sort of spoke about it. We were going to raise funds to get the team to go over to Lebanon just to connect to our roots a bit closer. So leading up to the 2021 World Cup, because but obviously because of COVID we couldn't. But personally I haven't been yet, but I'd love to go over there. At the moment they're not going through too good of a time, so hopefully things get better there.
Mate, very tough time over there. Very very tough time. So 2018, again, you lead the competition with the highest effective tackle percentage. So at what point did you sign? So you signed midway through 2017 a 2-year deal or 3-year deal?
3-year deal.
3-year deal to 2020.
2020, yeah.
Okay, so, but in 2018, that's also when Ivan moves on and Madge comes in?
2018, end of 2018, yeah.
End of 2018.
After 2018 season.
What year do you think was your best year? Was it 2018? Was it, because you've come 9th that year. And then I think since then you've maybe 9th again, then 11th, then anyway, it was. I remember there was a year. I'm pretty sure it was 2018 where you were 1 win away from making the finals.
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like 2019 was your best year, or what's been your best year? You reckon?
Nah, I think they've all had their moments. I sort of. Yeah, I don't feel like I've reached my potential yet as a player. I still feel like I've got a lot to work on and a lot to improve on. But I sort of every year sort of had up high moments, low moments. We haven't really, as a team, we haven't really made the 8. So like I said, that roller coaster's been ridden, and we rode the highs and the lows, and it's sort of been the story for the last couple of years, I think. Which has been unfortunate, but looking to go better next year.
Hopefully. Do you feel like, when you come to the club, it was, you guys hadn't played finals for a little bit, but do you feel like the pressure is has it gotten more since coming to the club, or do you think you just take it year by year?
I think, definitely, man. The club hasn't played finals footy for a decade, I think the fans deserve, to see their team play in the finals. And I guess you can take it as pressure, but you can also take it as an opportunity,
Sure.
I think, personally, I want to play finals footy for the fans and for the West Tigers, because they haven't had it for a decade. So, you sort of already, like, when we do play finals, you're sort of, going to be that team that made the finals, in the past decade. So,
mate, imagine it would go nuts. The fan base would go nuts if you made the finals.
100%, man. Like, obviously, we cop a lot through the media or whatever, but in saying that, it obviously shows people care. And like you said just then, once we start going well, when we do start going well, the amount of people that will just get on the back of us will be massive, and I think it's what the fans deserve as well. Yep.
And so 2019, that's when. So it's end of 2018, Ivan leaves. What was that whole situation like for you as a player? Because he's the guy that brought you to the club.
Yeah.
What was the feeling like for you?
Yeah, look, man, I understood, to be honest with you, man, because he's a champion, man, and I'm forever in debt for him for giving me my debut, to be honest with you, man. And, I understood the situation. It was obviously, probably, didn't get played out in the media too well, but personally, man, I hold no grudges, man. I thought it was a great decision for himself, and the club's moved on, and so be it. You know, so yeah.
What was it like when Madge came in? Was it because they're very, very different coaches, like very different coaches. Did you obviously you would heard that he's a very tough coach, Madge. Did you immediately feel that with the training and that? Was it upping in intensity?
Yeah, definitely upping in intensity. But I loved it, man. I was excited about the fact that he was joining our club. You know, he's had a lot of success over at Wigan and overseas, and he's also had a lot of success here with Rabbitohs, you know, delivering them their premiership. So I was excited about the opportunity to work with him, and I still am. You know. I can't speak highly enough of him, man. You know, he's a great coach. And
give us an insight into, you know, even me personally, like I only ever see the highly intense match, like the fucking fuck. But give us an insight maybe into the bloke outside of footy. Does he have a joking kind of side to him, or?
Yeah, man. I think, you know, living with him for 9 weeks up in Brisbane, you know, getting to see the family side of him and. Just seeing how much he cares about his players, and he's always trying to like do activities, you know, where the players can, you know, voice, you know, how their upbringing and whatnot, and just digging deeper. And he's really good at that, you know, just finding out more about the players and knowing them more on a personal levels, you know. So it's not all just footy, you know. He's really good like that, you know, making sure that, you know, he builds a good connection with his players. And like I said, man, like I've been working with him for the past 3 or 4 seasons, and you know, he's a really good person first and foremost, and. You know, secondly, he's a really good coach as well. And personally, man, I think, you know, he appreciates what I bring as well, because he's all about hard work and discipline and
totally,
you know, all that stuff. Because that's sort of what's brought, you know, him and his teams a lot of success. It's just about making sure that everyone goes in the same direction.
Absolutely. So 2019 rolls around. So I'm pretty sure, is that correct that 2019 was his first year?
Yeah.
So 2019 was his first year, and you go within 1 game of finals footy. Did you play in that game against the Sharkies?
Yeah, I was still playing it, man.
Mate, walk us through it. Do you remember it? What do you remember?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So it was sort of, we had a good finish to the back end of the year, and that Sharkies game, it was at Leica. We had every reason of why we had to win the game. Yeah, but
it was there.
Yeah, Farrah's, you know, fairy tale. Like hopefully it was going to be fairy tale finish, but yeah, man, we missed it. Oh, in warm up, man, we lost Corey Thompson. He was playing really good for us at that time.
I think I remember that. And who replaced him?
Momavoski.
Okay, yeah.
And then Corey was Tubbsy was playing good for us at fullback, and he done something to his calf in the warm up, and then we come in the huddle, and then I seen Tubbsy was like shaking the boys' hands, like he was upset, obviously, not being a part of the game, and then Madge shows Momus to fullback, and then Benji to hooker.
Oh,
and then Robbie, and then I seen Robbie lacing up the boots. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, because Robbie had done his media or something a couple of weeks before.
He wasn't going to play. He didn't even bring his boots or something?
No, he didn't bring his boots. Because he was literally like giving us talks before the game, like, you know, what
so
to do.
So he didn't even warm up?
Didn't warm up, bro. He just rolled in, yeah. And then I said, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm playing, bro. Like, I'm playing. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, how good's this? And then and so sort of like Farrah ended up playing, and then we didn't play well that day.
He didn't start though. So Benji went to hooker.
Benji went to hooker.
Yep.
And
who was your 6 and 7 then? It would have been Brooksy and and so Farrah come onto the bench then.
I think Benji was sort of attacking at hooker but defending at it was a different setup. Okay, so we just had to middle up with the team just because Tubbsy played such an important role at fullback and we didn't really have a replacement on hand because it happened in the warm up. So
mate, that's wild. Then like Farrah like just rocking up, not even going to play, didn't even warm up and goes on the bench.
It was crazy, man. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like seeing him lace up the boots and then we're running out and like I'm you're trying to focus on the game, but then you're also thinking like, what's he doing? Like,
100%.
You know, but you know, obviously it ended up being like terrible result because we didn't win, but I was happy for him like to play his last game at Leica where it all began for him. So
do you remember anything from the game specifically? Do you remember Paul Gallen's field goal?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I remember his field goal sort of just
fuck, that would have stung.
Yeah, that stung, man. Yeah, because I knew how much it meant for the club to play finals. Like, it was a sold out stadium after like 2 days.
Beautiful, bro.
It was massive. It was a massive afternoon. And we lost, and it was just it was terrible, bro.
Who's the toughest team to play against as a front rower?
Every team's like sort of different, man, to be honest with you. Like every team, like some teams play quick, some teams, you know, play the power game. I probably have to say Melbourne, bro, because their wrestle is so good and they just sort of every player is sort of a threat in their own right.
They control the ruck so well.
Yeah, and they control the ruck so well, Probably Melbourne, man.
Who's undercover that a lot of fans may not be aware that like they're actually a really tough team. They may not have the runs on the board like the Storm do, but they're just constantly just a tough outing.
probably say, probably say, I don't know. I don't have to think
what
about
first
that.
come to your mind? What was the first?
I was thinking Sharkies, like, because we had a tough trot with them the last couple of times we versed them.
Okay.
Like they seem to just they're tough, man. Like they probably don't have the same amount of runs on the board as
Storm and that.
I'll start storming that. Yeah,
Sharkies are
because they throw the ball
renowned.
around. They're a real good attacking team, man. So they sort of put pressure on your defense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's been the toughest player you've played against? Where you've gone like, this guy's a beast.
Toughest play. I'll probably say Taumalolo, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because he's so quick, bro, and he's a unit, and
he's got footwork.
He's got footwork as well, bro. It's just like all in one. It's just like, bro, what do you do,
mate? Because like even today, like there's no other player that's as big and as explosive as him. Usually it's like one or the other. Like even like Payne Haas, for example, he's massive, but he's probably not as good as laterally as a Taumalolo. But like, don't get me wrong, Payne Haas is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a freak as well, yeah.
What's it like playing a bloke like Payne Haas? He's only 20
bro, he's
or
a
something.
freak, man. He's creating a legacy of his own at the moment,
for sure.
man. But yeah, he's a freak.
And also, 2019, you signed a 2-year extension to stay at the club. Was there any other clubs interested, or you loved what you saw with Madge and you were committed to what his direction was, or?
At the time, man, I didn't even go to market because it happened before November 1. It actually happened like as soon as we pretty much finished the season. I signed. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, so it wasn't like I didn't really get the chance to even
Yep.
speak to any other clubs or anything. And I was happy at Tigers, man, because like I said, man, I'm pretty big on loyalty. Even though, you know, even in rugby league these days doesn't exist as much as it did back in the past. But yeah, I was happy with the way things were going with Madge as well. Like, we obviously just missed out on the finals, so things were going, you know, pretty good. And he sort of that season I pretty much started in front row. So I was happy for him to give me that opportunity and just sort of wanted to excel in that. So yeah.
So it was just one of those things where, there's nothing better as a player that a club shows you how much they want you by before you're even on the market. They're like, we want to re-sign you.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't feel underappreciated. So
it
was massive for me to stay at the club. Yeah.
And so 2020 rolls around. You only played 12 games that season. Was that injury that kept you out for that year, or was it form? Or
no, it was mainly injury, man. Like I remember doing, I think it was around 3 or 4. I was actually I was happy with how my form was going, and then I did my medial against Cowboys, and I was just like, fuck, not now, man. Like,
was it 6 weeks or 4 weeks, or how long?
Ended up being longer, bro. Ended up being like 7 weeks, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So you fully
it was a high grade, yeah.
Did you have to get surgery to reattach?
No, didn't have to get surgery, which was good, but it just came back.
7 weeks.
7 weeks, man. It was just like a long period, man, for me, like personally, because I had never been in rehab before that. I had touch wood, I had a pretty good run, and then 7 weeks that was challenging in itself, but you know, I was staying grateful and whatnot. But yeah, that was obviously tough. And then my first game back, I played against Warriors. My first run, I cracked my sternum and break a rib. I was like, bro, my first run. And
who did it? Do you remember?
I think, bro, it was like a bunch of them, bro. I don't know. I just got swarmed. I don't know. And then, cracked the rib, broke a sternum. I heard it crack, and then I was like, bro, my first run, I'm not going off. Like,
really?
Didn't play good.
How long did you play for?
Ended up playing the game. Get a needle at half time. Needle didn't do anything. Like, I was getting needles.
So you had a cracked sternum and a broken rib. Yeah. And you played the 80.
No, I didn't play the 80. He came off and then went back on for another stint.
Went back on.
But it was my first game, bro, and I was just like, bro, I'm over this. Like, I don't want to miss any more footy.
Yeah, totally.
And then I missed another couple of weeks after that, and then it was sort of like.
What were you thinking in the game? Were you just like, nah, I'm not going off,
bro? I was like, bro, what's this? What's going on, bro?
Because it's so painful.
It was my first run. Like, fair enough if I have a second or third run, but your first run, you're like, bro, are you serious? And I was like, bro,
oh my god!
And that was like sort of a tough season because in the off season, 2019 off season, I got surgery on my groins and my hip.
Oh, so just a disaster. Like, everything's not working.
So I didn't do the whole preseason.
Yeah.
And then I jumped in, played a couple games, did my medial, came back first game, did my sternum rib. And that was the back end of the season. We weren't going too well. We sort of just, I wasn't in a good frame of mind at the time.
Totally.
But yeah, so then,
mate,
that was sort of tough.
So you stayed on for like 20 with a cracked sternum, broken rib. Then you got taken off for your rest, and then you went back out there with the needle.
But to be honest, I didn't have a good game. I probably would have done
an excuse.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, I probably didn't.
Did no one no favours?
Did no one no favours? Yeah, didn't do myself a favour. Didn't do anyone a favour.
Oh man. Was it painful?
Yeah, it was just annoying, bro, because like just had no strength in that. I was like, bro, what am I doing? But like I said, because it was my first game, there was no way I was just going to put my hand. Like, I just can't do that. I'm just doesn't matter what. Yeah.
Wow, cracked sternum. And did you have to wear a pad for the rest of the year as well?
Yeah, and then I came back for the last couple games and wore a pad, and it was all right. Like,
were your butterfingers though, or you're all good?
It was all right, bro. But yeah, it used to get in my way because it was a massive one, and because it was like up here, it was like my clavicle, like it was something up here, like and they had to put it like near my neck and that. I was like wigging out, bro. I was like, bro,
you had like a front Brent Tate one. You had it on the front, one of those like guards, like when they joust. You had one of those things.
It was pretty weird, man. Then I had to go to the doctor's house, bro, to like test it out.
Oh, really?
Because like he'd need it to test it to see if it's gonna be sweet and that. And like I was doing weird shit. I was tackling the doctor and that, testing it, tackling the doctor. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh no, you can't tackle me. Tackle the pillars." Start tackling the pillars and that. We're doing weird shit. What
in his house? Yeah, you were tackling like the pillars in his house.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, test that." I was like, oh, whatever, bro. Whatever you say, man.
I just need to point out in that game, 46 tackles, no misses. The broken sternum.
46 tackles, no. You're a fucking maniac, bro.
I was hanging on by a thread.
Oh, he's had a bad game. 46 tackles, 0 misses with a broken. That's fucking wild, bro. What is it like? Because like, where does the toughness come from? Is it just fucking? I just like playing footy.
No, I just like I said to you before, I don't want to let my teammates down. But it was just one of those things. My first game back, I already felt like let them down. Like I said, it was my first run. I wasn't going to go off. Like it was weird.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I didn't do anyone a service that day. I told you. I'm telling you, I didn't have a good game. Like, stats can say one thing, but yeah, I know the truth. It wasn't a good game, bro. No, it wasn't a good game.
Oh fuck, you're a legend, bro. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good trait to have. To have is to not to be willing to let the boys down. You can build teams around that stuff. You can build teams around that. Okay, so for that year, that was obviously your first dealing with like long-term injuries. What do you think you learnt the most from that period?
Probably just how much, bro, I love the game, man. Like you don't realise, but when you're in rehab and that, you just watch the boys prepare for a game and that, you're like,
stings you.
It stings you, bro, because you sort of like you don't have that drive to play a game because you obviously can't.
Yeah.
You don't have that, them butterflies before a game and that. You sort of miss that. And it sort of put everything into perspective. Sort of just wanting to get back out on the field and obviously learn as well that you just sort of just got to be grateful every game you play, man, because you don't want to miss any.
Mate, 100%. Like just like a split second situation can happen.
Yeah.
And then you're out for fucking 3 months.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so coming in 2020, this season that just went, what was that? What was the mindset? What were you thinking personally? Was there goals that you had personally? Did you feel like you were at the stage of your career where you could really impact the team and become a leader? Because you're 25 now, so you're coming into that real good age where you can grow into a leader.
Yeah, 100%, man. Obviously, going off the season 2020, I was obviously had a lot of drive going into this season because I just wanted to stay on the field, play consistent and play good footy and drive Tigers into the final and sort of play in that leadership role. But, obviously it was another tough year and, a lot of them, goals didn't get ticked off, unfortunately,
Yeah.
So... have to strive better for 2022.
So what's the mindset then going into this year? What do you think that you're going to bring to the team? You know what I mean? Like I felt anyway, every year I felt like there was a new bit of information that, okay, I've learned this now. And then I've learned, okay, well I need to, for example, when I was at the Warriors, Brent Tate would always say to me like, just control what you can control. Like work as hard as you can, train as hard as you can, and everything. It may not come around in 4 to 5 games, but eventually things will turn around.
Yeah. Obviously, I adopted that mindset, but I've adopted that mindset, sort of control what you can control, but at the same time, obviously being in that leadership group and, at a club now where, there's a lot of younger boys where you do need to, help where you can and whatnot. It's sort of trying to find that fine line as well where, you got to also, help other guys as well and
absolutely
make sure they're on the right track. So I think going into this season, I've learned a lot, been in that leadership space for a year now.
Yep.
Finding out, where you got to do things, how you got to do things and all that sort of thing. So hopefully I'll be better for the run for it going into this year.
Yeah. And when did they start filming for the doco?
Right.
Like, did you know about that? When did you first know about it?
It's actually funny, man, you say that because there'll be like training sessions and we'll just be talking about boys chatting that and then one of the boys will be like, oh, bro, I got to bro, what do you say a bit earlier, bro? We're having voice chat, you know what I mean? Like,
You could
yeah, a bit like halfway through a session, you know. And then like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, bro.
So when did you know about the documentary? When did you?
To be honest, I don't even know, man. Like,
Oh,
I think it was like, I think it was. Oh no, they told us. I remember they pulling us together and saying we're gonna film a doco. I think we found out about pre-season.
So the pre-season for this year,
2020, yeah.
So
end of 2020. So
end of 2020, they pulled you in, said we're going to do a documentary.
We're going to do a doco, yeah.
Oh, okay. And
the boys were excited about it.
Was that Fox League that said that, or was it the Tigers?
No, like CEO and that got us together and presented the idea to us, and yeah, all the boys were for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were all keen.
Yeah, all the boys were keen on it, man. Yeah, yeah.
And what was it like having the crew following you around in that?
Oh, it's a pretty crazy experience, man. Like, obviously, it would have been better if we were winning.
Yeah.
Because the light that it sort of, it was good for the fans and that, because they got to see deeper into what really goes on. But at the same time, it would have been nice if we were winning and that shows some positive content. Yeah,
I mean, you're totally right. Like, in a perfect world, it's great. But in a world where you don't need extra pressure, like with the documentary, sometimes it can be. You could argue, well, do the Tigers really need the extra pressure of a documentary? But on the flip side of that, and I loved the documentary. I thought it was fantastic that we got to see. I thought it was really good in this, like, take all the pressure side away. Let's just say that you can deal with as much pressure as there is. I thought it was good for the fans to see how much you care and how hard you train and how all the things that go into it, where sometimes it's very easy for us as fans, I consider myself a fan now, to forget everything that goes into a game, from the admin all the way down to the boys.
100%, man. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, it gives fans an insight, but that's what it gives them, an insight. Like, at the end of the day, being there on the day to day, it's a lot different. Absolutely. Because there's so much more that goes into what we do.
Yep.
But yeah,
you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, totally.
But I think it was good for the fans, and
yep.
I think most of the information they got back was positive, and you don't go into a season thinking we're going to have the season we did. So
totally.
Yeah.
Is there any plans for another one that you know of, or you haven't really?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about it. So,
Matt, as I said, I watched every one. Did a review on every one as well. So actually, walk us through. That loss against the Storm. What's like? Try to explain to the fans and the community, like, what's that feeling like, being on the field like that, on the edge? Like, we always hear the glory of how great it was, but we never really usually hear a detailed of events of like how tough it is mentally to have to not only deal with the loss, but then the fallout after the loss.
Yeah, bro. Like, it was tough, man. It was tough. It was a real big reality check as well, man. Just to see where we were at, as a team and individually. From the get go, we were just off the mark, and it was a tough outing, man. There's no doubt in that, man. But in the same token, there was a lot of stuff that came after it and whatnot. But I think, in a sense, it sort of brought the boys closer with each other, because you had no other choice. Your backs were against the wall, and we had to we had to come closer with each other. And
what did it feel like on the field? Were you just like, what did it feel like? Were they just making line breaks at will, or?
Right, it was just like, the harder you try, the worse it got, sort of thing. It was literally one of those.
You try and fix it yourself, and then all of a sudden there's gaps.
Yeah, like if you're chasing a bloke down the sideline, you sprinting as hard as you can, but then he just wrong foot tail, things like that. It was like the harder. Yeah, it was a tough, bro. It was literally it was tough, man. It was tough mentally, after the game, just dealing with the loss and that. It was but.
What's been your favourite win that you guys have been a part of? Something that you really brought the boys together and you enjoyed?
Are you talking about this year, the one that just passed?
Your career, other than your debut.
Bro, I remember a game at Manly. I think it was at Manly, man. Yeah, it was lost to Benji Marshall Clinic, man. It was just a massive game, bro, because it was just like Benji wound back the clock, man, and we were just on top the whole game, man. I remember we were going in at half time, and we were up by I don't know, something like 20 points or something, and we were going in, and it was just a mad game, bro. It was just a mad vibe. I think Manly were doing well at the time as well, and it was just, I think we were underdogs, and it was just a massive game. I still remember it. Yeah, it was crazy.
What's something that you learned from Benji, watching a legend like him at training each day?
Probably for me, learning off Benji is just, the main thing was just his attitude.
Yeah,
just loves the game and just wants to give everything to the game. It's almost like he felt like he owed the game something. Like, he just loved the game so much.
Yeah,
and probably just his humbleness as well. People don't realise, but he speaks to everyone the same. He doesn't waver with how he speaks to people, and
Yep.
yeah, he's done it all in the game, and he's just a legend, bro. Yeah.
What's the goal for you personally? Is it to play? Hopefully one day if you could put on that blue jersey, the sky blue, is that a goal for you, or is it to help develop Lebanon as a team? What's the goal for you?
For me personally, it's just to help develop the club into a top 8 team, man, because I know that good things will flow on the back of that.
Yeah, okay.
While we're at the back end of the ladder,
Yep.
I know that you can have all these goals and whatnot, but if your team, you aren't going out there every week and you aren't getting the points, you're making everything tough on yourself. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I think for me personally, it's just about having that goal and just being real specific with that, how I can help the team and being a top 8 team, and I know good things will flow on the back of that.
Who's the best player that you've played with? Underrated. Obviously Benji would be up there, but who's the best player you've played with?
Best player I've played with, probably Teddy, bro. I remember my first year I got there, it was just like,
Teddy
it was like on the 8 stuff, man. It was like they just give him the ball and then just do whatever. And I was pretty new to the club. Obviously, I knew he was a freak.
Yeah.
But then, obviously playing with him, when you as a front rower, when your ass is hanging out, and you have a fullback like that just breaks for 15 tackles to score a try, it helps.
Yeah,
so,
bloody oath.
Yeah, playing with him obviously was a mad experience. And I played some, good player. Like obviously Robbie was up there. Robbie's.
What was it like for you that period where the big four, Chatham, Woods, Moses, Brooks, and and Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy.
Big
four.
Yeah, like Teddy's the biggest man of all. You being a younger player, what was watching that whole thing and then you guys losing a guy like Teddy? What was it like for you?
Well, that happened during the JT stuff because if you remember, Ivan came in at the back end, but that was already, I think it was sorted within a week.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't really get to see too much of it. But when I came to the Tigers, man, Woodsy took me under his wing straight away. Like at the time, he was playing for Aussies and New South Wales, took me under his wing, bro, and just really made me feel like Tigers was my home. Yeah. And I'll be forever grateful for that. And then obviously Teddy, he continued to give 100%, and it was obviously tough the next year not playing with them because they were such good players.
Yeah, totally. And Lebanon, what's the feeling with Lebanon? You just keen as to get that jersey back on?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Look, I don't know if hopefully everyone comes up to Europe and that, but when it was in Sydney last time, it just helped so much because
everyone could go.
The community, they were just right behind us. But it's going to be mad. It'll be awesome. I think we got a pretty good run this time compared to what we had last time. Like last time I think we versed France first, then Australia, then England, then Australia, and then we versed Tonga.
Oh well, fuck. Come
on,
man.
we play good against them. But
yeah.
This year, I think we're in a bit of a different pool. But
well, you want a pool that you can, that's. You've got the same resources and exposure. Yeah,
100%. But no, look, it'll be good.
Yeah, mate. I love watching. I remember, was it the Nines or something a few years ago?
Yeah, Nines. Yeah.
And you went all right for a little bit.
Well, they beat. I was going to play because I had my surgery. But they the boys beat England, and then they got disqualified because we had a 16 or 17-year-old playing with us.
What?
So then the following, I don't know. I don't want to add too much GST to it, but I think it's something along the lines. They said we weren't going to qualify for the finals because there was a 16 or 17-year-old playing with us. I don't know. I played in our team.
So what? And did they not tell him that they was 16 or 17?
I think something like that, man. Because
he had a big fake beard on.
Yeah, we all look 30 when we were 12.
Oh. Fuck, that's hilarious. And so you beat him and then got disqualified.
No, then the following game we were versing something like one of the second tier nations. Yeah. And the boys, I think their heads were falling off. We didn't play too good and we lost. So yeah.
That's hilarious. Fuck
yeah, it was crazy.
Do you have any hobbies outside of footy?
To be honest, man, I've just finished studying Bachelor of Commerce, major in marketing. So I just finished my uni. In terms of hobbies, not really, man. Just sort of cruise, man. Do stuff
Do you follow football like the EPL or anything like that?
Nah, not really, man. Yep. Nah, I'll get into it a bit. Not much, but yeah.
Not much at all. Okay, if everything happens perfectly in the next 12 months, what are you doing? What's the perfect 12 months for you?
Oh, like I said before, man, if we play finals footy, man, I'm happy, bro. Like,
mate, I'd love
we
for
play
it to
finals
happen.
footy. I know good things will flow off the back of that.
Yep. Now ask all the boys this. Favorite rapper of all time?
Pop Smoke, bro.
Pop Smoke.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a new generation,
Yeah.
bro. It's a new generation.
Yeah, oh, like, nah, if you're talking like old school and that, probably Tupac, like
Yeah.
Tupac, Biggie.
Nah,
like,
Pop
they're the
Smoke, he's a
OGs.
gun.
But yeah, he's a gun, man.
That first album was
Yeah.
so good.
Especially at a young age, man.
Mate, 100%. Imagine what he could have done if he was bloody still alive.
Crazy,
Poor
man.
bloke. Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie all time, bro. Probably A Star Is Born, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
A Star Is Born.
Bro, it's pretty. Bro,
It's a
pretty
good
mad.
movie,
It's a pretty
bro.
mad movie, bro. Yeah.
Bro, it's hectic.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But when he actually does that,
Yeah.
bro, I was like, no, surely not.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
Crazy, man.
Couldn't believe it. Holy shit. Mate, thank you. So actually, who's the greatest rugby league player of all time?
Goat?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, I've been in this era, and I reckon JT. Like, I just
As in Thurston?
Thurston, yeah, Jonathan
Yeah.
Thurston, yeah,
Yeah, he's up there.
yeah. He's
Mate, he was
he's-
such a battler.
Yeah, he was. Obviously, Cameron Smith as well. I remember like versing him. Like,
As a front row, what's it like playing a guy like Cam
he's
Smith?
so smart, bro. Just
Yeah.
I feel like he's just like 3 steps ahead of the game, man. Like,
Really?
yeah, and he's kicking and that. Like, you always, if you're in that position, you feel like you're always on your bike, bro. Get him behind the 10-meter line,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
carry, you know, because he just puts him in the right spots. And
Yep.
And the other thing was, bro, like, we like I remember versing once. It was like the 65th minute, bro. And like, the whole scrum, everyone's blowing,
Yeah.
and he's like, sweet.
Sweet.
I'm like, bro.
You're in the middle. You're in the middle.
Bro,
like,
how does that work, man?
mate, he's so good. And was he just really good at knowing when to run, when not to run?
Yeah, or just from my experiences of versing him, yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
you just felt like he just had it going, bro.
Mate,
Yeah.
he just his knowledge of rugby league
Yeah.
is probably the best ever. Unbelievable.
Crazy, man.
Mate, thank you so much for coming on. Really do appreciate
Thanks,
it.
legend. Thanks for having me.
Mate, as I said, I hope the Tigers can make the 8 because that area, they'd go nuts.
They go nuts, bro.
They'd go nuts.
Yeah.
But, mate, thank you so much for coming on. Boom.
Thanks, legend.